Good afternoon, everyone. It's New Year's Day, January 1, 2021, and isn't everyone excited to see 2020 behind them? And it's been a long, long haul, but I think it finished really well. We had a great Christmas carnivals, and I caught up with a young lady there who had a little secret, and now that secret's out, and it's Keely Bennett. So we got Keely on the line just to say hello and just to have a bit of a chat. So hi, Keely.
Hi, Ag, how are you?
Yeah, pretty good. Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year. Thank you. Hopefully it's better than the last one.
No. Hopefully we'll have plenty more Happy New Years and always happy, always happy. Look, you've had a big week, but you also had a big year. You finished year 12. You turned 18 on the 30th of December. So happy birthday.
Thank you.
And that's the day, of course, that results came out as well. So, I mean, how many things can happen in one year? And we talk about 2020 being a tough year, but you're going to look back on it rather fondly, I hope, because a lot of things happened and it was a crucial year for you. So, how were your results? How was school? What was 2020 like in that respect for you?
Yeah, well, obviously it was always going to be a big year and it was always going to be difficult, but then you got Corona thrown into the mix and it was just made it that much harder. I think that you can take it as a blessing in disguise. Well, that's how I took it anyway. I know a lot of people saw it differently, but yeah, I guess you can kind of take it and run with it and kind of do well from. That's kind of how I saw it at the time, and I think it worked for me, and I was happy with my results that I got the other day. So yeah, I don't know. Do you want me
that's
to
good.
elaborate?
No, that's great. I mean, the fact that you're happy is one thing, and you're always smiling, so we always see that. But behind an exterior, must lie some anxiety, etc. And this year or last year must have been one of those years. But you seem to have coped quite well, and it was great to see you on the bike last week. Obviously, because of the year we've had, even if people have been on the bike, we haven't actually been able to physically see them on the bike. It's either been in some virtual event or some photos here and there. But how have you kept your Ks up? What did you do to stay reasonably fit and mentally as well as physically?
Yeah, so pretty much I didn't push myself too much because I knew that there was nothing really coming up in the next few months. Obviously, they had track nationals that got postponed a few times, which each time I was trying to peak for that event, but didn't end up going to track nationals in the end. But yeah, so basically I just keep in touch with friends that were also riding, doing the exact same thing. I would speak to my coach pretty often. We'd have big check-ins, and I'd ride my 5Ks, always exploring. I have two little brothers, and they go to the boulevard with me, and we do loops. And I just try to keep it interesting, try to keep it fun.
Well, there were things you probably wouldn't have done, right? Those rides with your little brothers as often as you did. So that's definitely a positive. Has that helped in your relationship, family-wise, even with mum and dad, and just the whole family? Has it been a real bonding year?
Yeah, my whole family, I think, has ridden a road bike this year, which is something I don't think I would have ever seen. So, my little brother, or my big little brother, who's taller than me, got his first road bike, and then we go do Mount Pleasance together, which I did not think that would ever happen because, and yeah, my dad rides that bike, mum rides that bike, and then my littlest brother, he's always wants to race, and so yeah, it's really brought the family together through bikes because we could ride.
And we look forward to seeing more people at the clinic on our social rides now. We've got a women's social ride, so mum's definitely going to be able to do that. Meg Dietz is doing it, so we've got to get mum into that one. Excuse me.
Of course.
So what are your plans for next year? We'll talk about the riding in a minute, but your plans school-wise, etc. Do you know what you want to do and how you're going about getting there?
Yeah, so pretty much our uni offers come out in 3 days, I'm pretty sure. And my top preference is occupational therapy at Australian Catholic Uni in Melbourne. So that's the goal to obviously study there, and I've got an elite athlete program there as well, so that really helps out with like training and racing. I'm pretty sure they cater to all of the athlete needs, and yeah, basically just going to train on top of and like work study around it. I'm pretty sure.
Well, that's fantastic. Seems like a perfect scenario for what you're going to do. So, even though it was going to be a question we're going to ask later, I think it's the right time to do it now. You made an announcement this morning. Some would say it was, one of the worst kept secrets, but not. I mean, I guess those of us close knew and suspected, but it was a big reveal for everyone else. Tell us what you're doing from a riding point of view, the team you're joining, their name, etc. You do that yourself.
So next year I'll be joining the KOM/KOS Women's NRS team. They're a new team, and yeah, I'm got the opportunity to ride with them next year. So yeah, I'm very excited.
So who else is in the team? Who's the DS? Tell us just a little bit more information about how many times you expect to be racing. What the first steps will be. I know you're going on a holiday soon and you'll be training, so clearly there'll be some early goals you're setting yourself.
So pretty much the it's all happened really quickly. Like the team was kind of built in like the last few weeks, so I'm not sure on like all the major details. But yeah, so Dan Corbett from KOM Financial,
A great supporter of cycling. Enormous supporter of cycling, Dan is. Yep.
Is involved in any NRS team he can get involved with, which is great. It's his team and he's the one running it. Riders on the team, I'm not too sure on a lot of them. Like we still haven't had that like face-to-face interaction. We've got a little group chat happening so far, and it's all just like shy highs. But yeah, the one member that I'm pretty close with at the moment is Shannon McCurley, who's the Ireland track rider.
So just on role models, who are your role models? Who are the people that you look up to, whether on the bike, off the bike, people you may or may not know? And have new people come in the last 12 months because of the situation we've been in? So I know I've certainly found some new role models.
Yeah, so I'd have to say that my newest role model would have to be Grace Brown. Like I never really knew her like that well. Like you just see her, doing amazing rides over in Europe and, at the Australian Championships earlier this year. So I never really knew her that well, and I just kind of heard of her name. And then in the middle, when we had like the free bit of isolation, so when we were let out, she was in Melbourne and we had a massive training block with her. She was in our bunch. I did some training with the VIS. And like she's just so down to earth, and like as a professional rider you'd think like she'd have a big head or something, but yeah, she'd sit at a cafe and talk to like 5 fangirling teenagers and it was just really chill how she'd just be there as like a friend, which was kind of cool. And like you'd just see her out on a ride and be like, oh hi, and she'd like wave back. So yeah, I'd have to say she's my main one at the moment.
And is the reason why she's a role model because of what you just said, that sort of chilled outlook? He's an elite athlete that's been racing in Europe and doing some great things, and she had an outstanding year. But just to be down to earth, is that something that you like to, a person you like to be yourself too? Because you're pretty chilled from the person I know. Oh, yeah. You're a really happy, chilled person.
Yeah, I think that I kind of saw myself in her. Like I could see me, being like her in the future. So I was like, wow, this is what I want to, portray even with younger girls, this is how I want to look to them. Yeah.
That's really cool. Do you think why you're still riding a bike? At your age, let's face it, some people give it away. It's either too hard or they had this really false or unreal expectation on being somewhere at a certain age, which is really silly when you look at it. Now that you're 18, you can probably look back at some of the things you thought were really important at 15 and 16 and wonder what you were thinking of. What's the reasons why you think you're still riding a bike?
There's definitely like a few factors that play into it, but I reckon the main one of why I'm still cycling is I got into it later. So I was always doing like netball or basketball. I was so sporty when I was younger, and then I found cycling when I was like 13. I joined Brunswick and got to Tuesday night racing, and that was like I just thrived off the environment there. And then yeah, I kept at it and I got better and um, got some results, which then motivated me to keep going because I was just hungry for like more. So yeah, as I mentioned before, I'm like a very motivated person, and yeah, that motivates me, like the hunger to succeed, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. And you're now, I know it sounds crazy, but like I said before, when you're 15, you kind of see yourself as a kid. You're 18, and you mentioned before off air that, you had your first New Year's Eve as an 18-year-old, and you could go out and have a drink and all that sort of thing. I don't want to talk about the night you had, but the point I'm making is that, now you kind of see things a little bit differently. I'm asking you as a now older junior or a person moving into the senior ranks and now elite ranks, and you're going to be really in the deep end in this team, and you're going to love it. I can feel it.
Yeah.
You're going to love it. There's going to be moments where it's going to hurt, but you're going to really love it. What do you say to? We have a Tuesday night group, for example, that Vanessa's coaching, and Ben and Nick are helping out too, and they're 10, 11-year-olds, and what we're trying to do is slow them down, slow their expectation down about when I should ride on the boards and when I should be doing all these different things. You started late, and that seems to have helped you. What's your advice to kids at that age, about their cycling?
Well, I just think just keep it interesting, keep it fun. You don't need to push yourself to the limits at that age. Like I saw it as like a social opportunity to like catch up with my friends and enjoy myself. And I benefited more out of, training with my friends than doing like 100K rides every weekend. So yeah, don't set unrealistic expectations for yourself and just surprise yourself because, you know, um, I'm full of surprises and that's really helped me keeping it fun myself.
Yeah, and you mentioned other sports. I think kids should be doing other sports as well when they can. What are the other sports you did, and what was the other one that you loved? And maybe you might even miss because the cycling takes over.
Yeah, so I was doing basketball and cycling together. So I'd like play a game of basketball and then go straight to training like a Saturday to doing like Vic development squad. And I was finding it so hard to keep up because I was trying to train on the bike and then I'd missed training for basketball and then it was just a mess. So obviously one had to take priority and I loved my cycling. But yeah, I do miss my basketball. I don't think I can shoot as well as I used to anymore and I've lost all of like the hand-eye coordination. But yeah.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I think to have that, to have other sports as part of your life, even if you're not playing them anymore, but you're still interested in them. I know some of your family are footy supporters. Are you a footy supporter too?
Yes, I am. I'm a
You
Richmond
followed, Keely?
supporter.
Oh, geez, what a leading question that was. And of course, that's great because you follow the best football team, so you can take that with you to the team, to your new team, and you can teach them what it's like to be around true greatness.
Exactly.
On a serious note on the team, I mentioned Dan before, who's I've declared a great friend and a really great supporter of cycling, but women's cycling in general. And the Knights of Suburbia motto and the Knights of Suburbia story is a great story. They haven't been around that long. A lot of members of the Knights are members of Brunswick, and we have been a venue where they've had events leave, and we've also got a connection with Love Me Love You through Lance and the team there, and we're about to roll out some very important initiatives around mental health. That motto of theirs around changing the culture around mental health and raising awareness, etc. As a young person moving into a new team like that, is that an important component of it to you? Does that help the roundness of the opportunity?
Yeah, of course. I think if you're not like mentally there, then you're not going to be there physically either.
Look, the whole idea around mental well-being and just resilience, etc. When you think about what you've gone through this year or last year, sorry, then you're actually a role model and a living role model without even knowing it. So I think having people like you in the team and people like Joe and Kate and Shannon, I mean, who have all been through a lot, not just in last year, but throughout their lives, I think sets the team up really well. Look, we've asked a few questions. I said I wasn't going to take up a lot of your time, and I won't. You're on holiday soon, so make sure you enjoy that. Train, but train early because it's going to be warm.
It's going to be fucking hot.
Yeah. Everyone talks about New Year's resolutions. Do you have any? And do you have any that you want to share?
This was actually brought up last night around the campfire, and I don't know. I just my main one that I'm like really want to stick to this year is I just want to focus on my diet as a cyclist. So eating well, fueling my body, recovering properly, because I think that like just those like little plus ones will help you out on the bike, in the future. So that's my resolution.
That's a good one.
Eat well.
And yeah, good. And it's an important one because you're going to have to be really eating cleanly and be healthy, because once a week when you can make it on a Thursday and you have a snag, we don't want you to feel guilty, right?
Exactly.
So will you still be coming to Motor Pace as often as you can?
Yeah, so obviously I'm kind of putting the track bike in the back seat now, but Cam is my coach and he will not take motor pacing out of my program, so I will be there every Thursday.
Yeah, that's good. And as you know, we accept road bikes on there too, Yeah.
Exactly. So doing both styles on the Thursday night, which would be good.
That's great. And we all know, and even Eddie Merckx said that you want to be a better road rider, you ride track.
Yeah, I've definitely got a lot of my skill from the track, and now I'm ready to transfer that onto the road. Yeah,
great. Hey, Keely, I think we're done now. Do you think the Tigers will win the flag in 2021?
Of course they will.
Okay. Do you think Keely Bennett will have a good year?
Yes.
I'm hoping. Yeah, I think everything you've just explained about what you want to do, the environment you're in, the great family environment you're in, the friendships you've got, hopefully the club that you're a part of is very supportive, and we are, and we want to continue to be. The team you've joined is a great team. We're really proud of you, Keely. We really, really are. And just wanted to have this interview. Yeah, it's a New Year's Day one. Get it out to members. They'll be really, really thrilled to hear from you. So thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate the club and you guys so much. So yeah, thank you.
We love you, Keely. See ya.